All right, let's get right into it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the likes button, and let's dive right into it. Let's deal with it. Now, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to explain what I mean after I say it. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And you shouldn't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Those 5 words put together, that should be the final thought in your mind before you exit this life. That's what it boils down to. I was thinking, everything in this life, it boils down to a final moment. When you take your final breath, how you feel upon that final breath determines whether your life was successful or if you failed at life. You should be at the point by now that you should be fed up with everything to the point that you are saying, I don't give a fuck. Not giving up, but not giving a fuck. You shouldn't leave this life. In fact, when you lay down on your pillow at night, you should be at the spiritual level where you say to yourself, if I don't wake up the next morning, I'm fine. You should be at that point right now. Because there is nothing in this life worth living for besides realizing what everything is about. And once you realize what everything is about, then you will not give a fuck. That means you will no longer engage in living to meet somebody else's standard for your life. You won't care. You will have no concern about what someone is thinking about you. You will no longer measure your life according to somebody else's yardstick of what is successful or not. You will no longer try to appease people. And then you will say to yourself, are they trying to appease me? And 10 times out of 10, the question to that answer is no. Everybody that you're trying to live for is not trying to live for you. That's why I say living for yourself and not for others. That's the golden rule. We writing that. That's a new thing in our terminology. The golden rule, as far as this left side of the brain channel is concerned, as far as how we Jaguars think, the golden rule is living for yourself and not for others. When you break that golden rule, you have blasphemed. Then when you die, your whole life was in vain. Because you, at that point, you will be feeding the need. These people in this world, thank you, Spirit, they will never free you. You can only free yourself. They're not going to free you. And by you living for them, you feed the need. The need is the addictions that they want you to be hooked upon, because you are the bloodline that they need. They need you to be addicted. They need you to be addicted to alcohol, unhealthy food, the television, radio, every form and every area of your life that's holding you down, that's anchoring you down by the ankles and preventing you from floating and being free. That's what they need you to be addicted to. They need you to be addicted to those things, and they're not going to free you. Because if they would ever free you, then they lose. They need you to give them a purpose to feed you the addiction. So when you're living for somebody else, you are feeding the need. You are feeding the addiction. I don't go to sleep at night saying to myself, I have to wake up in the morning. When I wake up, I'm grateful, but that's not on my mind when I go to sleep at night. In fact, last night, I had laid my head down on the pillow and I was looking in the darkness of my mind, and a thought came to me and it said, I don't want to go on no more. I see everything. It's pointless at this point. I was just looking into the darkness of my mind and I said to myself, I understand, man. I got it. I felt so free, man. And it was a peaceful feeling. And it just boiled down to these 5 words. I don't give a fuck. Jaguar Paul. That's what it boiled down to. And that's how I woke up feeling this morning. I was like, damn, I don't give a fuck. Like, think about it. Who are they? That's why I teach selfishness, living for yourself and not for others, and being myopic in your walk, in your path, never being deterred. Because sometimes we tend to backslide. We tend to look back at the world behind us. We hear the echoes of the past in our mind. We thinking about family and friends. But what they gonna think about me? Well, they haven't heard from me in a while. Let it go. Let those people disappear. They ghost in the past. They not about elevating you. And what I'm saying, somebody needs to hear this right now. Somebody is in a relationship with some type of female that's holding you back. Some woman, you in an unhealthy relationship. Somebody is addicted to some type of drug or something in your life that's still holding you, and you need to break away from it. Only you know what I'm speaking about. But this message is for somebody, because it wouldn't be given to me if it wasn't. I'm just dispensing the revelation. And when you don't let it go, you allow them to win. Then your life will be a failure. See, some people die and they have all these regrets in their mind. They land back on a hospital bed and they got all these regrets in their mind. Oh man, I wish I would have did this. Oh man, I wish I, and they die not giving a fuck. I don't want to die like that. If I die right now, I don't give a fuck. If I don't wake up tomorrow morning, I don't give a fuck. And y'all will know that left side of the brain died without giving a fuck. I don't care. You got to get to that point. You know, your life is defined. You think your life is defined by richness and how much you accomplished. If you didn't accomplish, I don't give a fuck mindset, you haven't accomplished anything. This is the jewels This is the diamonds. This is the gold. This is the wealth that money cannot buy. You have to align your emotions with the truth. Now, sometimes people will hear this type of information and you'll say to yourself, I hear it. I know he's right. I hear what he's saying, but I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to give it up. I'm not ready to give up my friends. I'm not ready to denounce this human prison bar system. I know what left side of the brain is saying is right, but I'm going to try it one more time. That's what you tell yourself. I'm going to try this world system out, this human prison bar system out one more time. Maybe left side of the brain is wrong. Even though I know he's not, it's a chance. I mean, it's a possibility that he's not right? It's a possibility that left side of the brain is just bitter and misery loves company and he wants me to be bitter. Fuck him, man. Fuck left side of the brain. I don't want to hear that shit you saying. I'm going to try this world out one more time. You know what you just did? You just backslid. And you align your emotions away from the truth. And you know the truth though. But what you did, you became you let yourself slip into a state of denial. You see? And your emotions were misaligned, even though you still know the truth. Now, sometimes people can know the truth and allow themselves to be deceived by their own self. Because ultimately, you're going to be the judge of yourself, not left side of the brain. I'm going to be the judge for myself. You're going to be the judge for yourself. Everything that you know to do, that you don't do, you are the judge for your own self. That's how much life is fair, and that's how much justice this life has. Everything is based upon what we do and what we don't do. That's the equation for how your life will become. It's mathematics. What we do and what we don't do determines how our life will be. It determines how we will view ourselves. It determines how we think about ourselves. It determines what type of situations we get in, what type of people we involve ourselves around. It all boils down to what you decide to do with the information. Because the light is always shining. Look at the sun. Every morning the sun comes up. You can't say it's not light outside. Now you can pop open an umbrella and say, I don't want the sun shining on my face. You can go into a dark closet in your room. I don't want to deal with the light today. But that don't erase that sun that's sitting up in the sky. Meaning, you got that dim voice inside of you. But you want to test it out to see if it's real or not. You see? You want to say to yourself, oh, left side of the brain ain't right. He a hater. He just don't want me to have fun. All right, go out and have fun. But you'll be back. I had to come back. You'll be back. Trust me, you'll be back. Ain't nothing else outside. I'm telling you, this is the best channel on YouTube. You might unsubscribe, get mad, go somewhere else. But guess what? You'll be back. Because ain't nothing else out there. You'll be right back. You'll be back in the fall semester classroom. You'll be back. You'll be right back. This is it, people. I'm telling you. Everything I say on this channel, this is it. This is it. And I know this message is for somebody. I don't want to be too long-winded with this. I just want you to ponder upon these things, because it's not about what I think about you. It's not about what the next person think about you. It's not about what your mother and father think about you. It's about what you think about yourself. It's about what you do with the information. Because I'm going to tell you what, it'll be a bad thing to die with all this information and die fucked up in some situation that you knew better to not be in. That'll be a fucked up feeling. So that's why you may as well say to yourself now, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And the people you trying to impress, the people you trying to look a certain way for, they don't give a fuck about you. Go ahead and tell yourself that don't nobody give a fuck about you. I'm telling you, you don't know what a person really feels about you. I'm going to tell you that right now. Oh, my family loves me. You don't know that. I'm going to tell you, everybody has a breaking point to where they will turn against you. Don't ever think that the closest person in your life won't turn their back on you. But you will never turn your back on yourself. I'm going to say this. Even God cannot love you more than you love yourself. Oh, what did he mean? No, he didn't say that. I'm going to repeat it. Even God cannot love you more than you love yourself. And I'm going to tell you why. From a religious perspective, they tell you that God will punish you and put you into eternal damnation and eternal hellfire. But how many of you would raise your hands and say, I will voluntarily put myself in eternal damnation and eternal hellfire? Not one person under the sound of my voice would do that. But God would do that. So what does that tell you? It's nothing that I would do in my life that I would put myself in eternal fire for. Not a thing. I don't care what it is. I would never throw myself into eternal flames to be tortured and burning for the rest of my life. So if God says that he would do that, then he can't love me more than I love me. I would never do that for myself. I would never do that to myself. Would you? So that proves that nothing can love you more than yourself. Still not convinced? How many of you would die for somebody else? Would you take a bullet for somebody else? It's easy to say you would. But really, would you? Few people might say, yeah, for my child I would. For my mother I would. In fact, I'm going to tell you all this. If you think people love you like that, if you took a sheet out, a sheet of paper, can you write 5 people's names on that sheet of paper? And on that sheet of paper, you write 5 people's names. And out of those 5 people, okay, you have to say, if the world ended today, if I could only say 5 people, whose name would I write down? Are you 100% sure that the person name you wrote down would write your name down on their list of 5 people? Ask yourself that. I'm not sure about that. So, only person I am sure about is myself. I would write myself, my name on that list. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. And I'm sure you would too. So if you agree with that, that's proof that you can't love nobody else more than yourself. Because I don't think nobody under the sound of my voice would not write your name on that list. If you could only write 5 people to save, which would have to include yourself on the list, if the world ended today, Would you put 5 other people other than yourself? No. That's proof right there that you can't love nobody more than you. You can't replace somebody more than you, because the world revolves around you. Your world revolves around you. And it's just that when you realize that you live in a world that's a human prison bar system, you realize that, hold up, this is everything left side of the brain been speaking about. This is a prison. This thing is a nightmare. How do I get out of this? You get out of it by adopting this mindset of I don't give a fuck. Once you do that, you have opened up the doors of freedom. Because remember, what we say about morals. Go back and watch that red light edition that we did on morals. Their morals is set up for them. People define morals any kind of way. That's why I did a red light edition speaking about morality is a myth. This universal morality. So you have to create your own morality that fits your survival. You got to create your own morality, because if you try to follow everybody else's morality in this world, you know how many different religions there is? You know how many different schools of thought there is? People got all type of different emotions. You will get lost in this sea of emotions out here in this world. You can't appease everybody. You can't please everybody. And you can't make everybody feel happy. That's why you just gotta say, I don't give a fuck. Live for yourself and not for others. And with that, I'm gonna end this video. This is Left Side of the Brain. This has been I guess we can say this is a public service announcement. Jaguars up, Jaguar Nation 2019, the year of possibilities. Hit the likes button, hit the subscribe button, add us on Instagram, support the Patreon. I'm gonna leave all of that information down below in the description box. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments in the comment section. Let's chop it up in the comment section. Hit me up on Instagram, add us on Instagram. You can inbox me. Let's sit, let's talk, let's get to know each other. This is Jaguar Nation. It's us versus them. Y'all know how it is. Us against the world. This is Left Side of the Brain signing out.